So today, guys, we're gonna finish putting together the table. So everything's painted, everything's ready to go. All we gotta do is put it back together. And here we go. So, as you can see, I've already sat there and got the wheels bolted on. They are full swivels. They're as good as they're gonna get. And now it's time to start getting stuff together. Alright, so these things of course go on the top. We probably screw those in pretty well. Or we can already start with this idea. I think we should do this idea first. So first off, you might want to clean off your space, that way then you can get to work. As you can see, they're kind of getting stuck to the thing. There we go, there we go, there we go. Now we got to pick out our screws and get the drill correct. I just need a Phillips head for these things, so it's pretty simple. Alright, so first things first, line it up and get her in line, and you find your screws that you want to use. So we're going to use 2 of these screws. They're not terribly long, they're not terribly short. They're actually going to be perfect for this. Just get them put in like that. Fold it up a little bit. And that's one piece onto that side. Now you want to get the other side. Looks like we had a wet spot. We got to clean that off really quick. So the good thing about this paint is you can actually scrub it off with a good scrubby. But you don't want to scrub too hard, because you don't want to damage the paint underneath. Just want to get that top part. Where did my towel go? Lexi, out of the way, please. Oh, there it is. And then just dry it really quick. See, nice, clean, everything's good. Alright, so you want this one over here. Select your 2 screws, line it up nicely. And go ahead and get it nice and tight. And you got the first part together. So now you have your 2 legs. Now your next part, I suggest going ahead and starting to put these babies on. Watch out, Lexi. Move. Because it would be easier for the shape. The top is easier to get on than anything else, so that's no big deal. There's the problem. Alright, see, as I said, we have a small problem. So what we're going to do is undo those and switch it with the smaller one. So we want this side to be the small side. Sometimes it may help to measure it out and figure it out first. No big deal. Undo the screws really quick. Take that off. And realign with this one. Now the good thing about this thing is they're the exact right size as the other sides. Take those screws out right quick. So everything fits basically the same idea. Go ahead and screw that side in right quick. Go over here and do that pretty much the exact same with this side. Now you don't want to overdo it because you can strip out the holes. So you got to be very careful when you're doing that. Right, now we take this part and that should fit perfectly in line with that. With the two holes, pop her in, and you can lock that in by just taking a simple Phillips head screwdriver, which I got right here, and locking it. Locked in. Locked in. So now she ain't gonna move. Now what you wanna do is go ahead and grab this piece. It should go right in those holes. If you're having a little tough time, it's because of the paint more than anything else. Gotta give it a little bit of a stern push. And if you must, grab your little hammer. You can hit it nice and slow, which I hate the fact that these things came out. Alright, let's fix that right quick. Tighten that up a little bit before it falls out. No big deal. Alright. And try to go back to it. Ah, that good. Lexi, my helper dog. She's such a good girl. Alright. That should be good right there. Make sure she's flat on. And that's good. Next part, you sit there and add on these sides. We're making this as easy peasy as we possibly can. It might be a little harder because how they're set. If you must, you can also slide it on. Just kind of what I had to do to get them off in the first place. If you're having a difficult time, do it the opposite way. It doesn't seem to be up like way. try to line up these screw holes as much as I can. There we go. Grab your 2 screws. Get them started by hand first and foremost. Should square up pretty nicely once you get the screws in. Tighten it down. There we go. Don't worry, she'll straighten out pretty good in a minute. Next part, same as the first. And you just build your outer wall this way. Alright. Do the exact same thing. Next And using a power drill, you don't necessarily have to do, but it helps. It makes it a little bit faster. No big deal there. So now you get the basic idea right here. So now here's where you can sit there and start putting on the next legs. All you gotta do is just line them up. This one lines up over here. So you want it like that. And you want to line up this hole. So that's it. And then line that up. And same exact thing. Come down to the bottom. Tighten her in. Get your 2 screws. Get them started in. Take your drill. And she's in there. Now take your other leg. Same thing all over again. Don't be afraid to be a little forceful with it. It ain't gonna destroy it or anything like that. It's just gonna be good and tight. If you do it a little bit forcefully, you'll get a tight fit, which is what you want. A little bit of forcefulness doesn't hurt too much. Good. over and get the last piece on that side. And then we'll do the top. She should snap in pretty easily. And like I said, if she doesn't, you can give her a little bit of a pull. This thing is pretty malleable. Perfect, lined up. Alright, like I said, if she doesn't want to do it, give her a little bit of taps. She could deal with a little bit of tap, but you don't want to do it too hard, obviously. Alright. Seems pretty good. Let's bring it this way a little bit more. And we're lined up. Okay, those are the last 4 screws right there. And now put these 2 in. Okay, and what you can see so far is she's pretty solid. Now, the top. The top's going to be a little interesting, so bear with me here. So, let's clean off the dog here, because of course I have dogs. Don't want to give it back to her with dog hair all over it. So, if you have a problem with that, you know, we got the trusty rag, which we can hit with it pretty well. Good old towel. This here is the bottom. You can tell because there are slight holes on where it's made. Put this back down for a second. Let's flip her around. Don't drop it or break it. That would not be good. Alright. We want her this way. And now you just gotta figure out how high we're gonna get it. So another way we could do this, which is what I'm about to do, is I'm about to set this flat. I'm about to take my pencil here and make these holes really obvious, because they're not as obvious as I'd like them to be. Get a little darkness around it, so that way it's a little more easy to see. Alright, take this down. You can put it upside down, so that way it's just easier to place. Put this down. As you can see, the short edge is over on these sides, long edge is over here. So you want to do something like this. Pick it up, line her up. This I got to drop my hat for. Lined up, lined up, lined up. Making sure all of them are lined up nicely. Needs to come over this way just a tad. There we go. Grab your final 4 screws. Find your hole. And start drilling her in. There we go. Two in. Three in. And number 4. And there you go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a finished table. I'm going to bring it down here so I can show you the whole entire project and what it looks like. I don't like that. So if you see something you don't necessarily like, take your little green scrubby and you can just scrub it a little bit. That'll also help smooth out the paint. And if you must, you can go back and hit those spots one more time before delivery. No big deal. It just bubbled a little bit. We've got plenty of paint and plenty of paint brushes. As you can see, let me move this camera around for you. Things got twisted. As you can see, she's bright green and everything else. These little spots like that one right there, we're gonna hit again. We're gonna do one more coat over the top and that should make it pretty good. Alright guys, so bear with me for a second while I put you back up here and we get ready to clear the top again. So you go get your paintbrush. I suggest using the exact same one all the time. Alright. Paintbrush, paint down here. Get her a good paint on her. And all you gotta do is back and forth. Try to get her as smooth as you can. Gotta fill in those crevices. Don't be afraid if it looks a little lighter for a second, because it always dries darker. Make sure you have no overhang. See, this paint is old, but it still will work. should add a little bit of water to it. Luckily my brush is still a little wet, so that helps. Lexi, see my little helper over here? She's my helper. She's making sure I'm doing it correctly, ain't you? Don't really change your brush strokes, because if you do, you're going to get lines all over the place that are all different. And that's pretty much the end of it right there. Like I said, if you like it, subscribe. If you want to see more different projects like this as they come up, you know, comment in the section below. And I'll continue filming how-tos with miniature models and all kinds of different things. Just the Great Scott, the veteran gamer slash, well, builder in this case. All right. Have a great day.